You guys ready?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to call the meeting to order. You join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Welcome to the Monday, November 17, 2025 meeting of the Westport Select Board. Under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, this meeting is being recorded. I just want to start the meeting with an acknowledgement of the passing of Marlene Sampson. Marlene Sampson was 21. She unexpectedly passed away on Wednesday, November 5th. She was born in Fall River, but she resided in Westport for most of her life. She worked for the town of Westport for over 40 years, receiving an honorable citation from the Massachusetts House of Representatives for her service. She served as town clerk for 27 years until she retired. She was honored with the Portuguese Heritage Award at the Mass State House. She was a communicant of St. John the Baptist Church. She was a member of the Westport Fair and PACL Westport. I know she was just a fixture of Town Hall for decades, and I just want to extend the sympathies to her family. Does anybody want to say anything?
Well, we all knew Marlene very well and had the privilege of working with her and served the town well and was also helpful to the select board, so she will be sorely missed, and her family is remembered in my prayers as well.
She was always very easy to work with. She was a straight shooter, but well, the biggest challenge was when I first time I ran, we would always have to, if there was a race going on, you had to go in like once a week to see who had pulled papers and who would return papers. That system has changed now. So,
Yeah.
but
So I know Marlene going back many years as well. She's, again, as I said, with Ray's passing, we're losing a lot of the people that make Westport special here. I knew Marlene's son, and I still obviously do, Paul, very, very well. He's done a lot of work on, I have a lot of vehicles, and he's done a lot of work on that. So my sympathy goes out to the Sampson family and Paul and others. So thank you.
All right, and then on a happier note, I just want to extend our thanks to everyone who participated in the Veterans Day celebration or the ceremonies that we had at the Town Hall Annex, especially Carol Freitas for putting it together, the American Legion, the VVA, the VFW, the Scouts were there, the Fire Explorers were there, the Police Department was there. It was a really good turnout. There were a lot of people there.
And you were there.
I was there, but we were all there.
yeah.
Yeah, but you were speaking.
And Anthony Branco was the keynote speaker. I thought he did a great job. So thanks to everyone who made that happen. The men's high school soccer team is playing tonight. They are in their Final Four game tonight. So we'll see. I think that's being broadcast on community television. So we'll watch that. It'll be more interesting than our meeting. And then just a reminder that there is a Christmas tree lighting ceremony on December 7 from 3 to 5 at the Westport Woods. It's with the Recreation Department, so December 7 from 3 to 5. We do have a executive session listed at the end of the agenda, but that will only if it becomes necessary to discuss the town administrator contract. Otherwise, we'll just handle that in open session. Anything else before we get started? Okay. So the first item on the agenda, we have a request from Michael Burris, the town planner, to accept the resignation of Mark Rasmussen from the Climate Resilience Committee.
We accept the resignation of Mark with regret.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. Or with four in favor and one absent. So we have the 2026 Select Board meeting calendar. So we have two options. So they looked at the second and fourth Mondays of every month, but then there were a bunch of conflicts as usual with Monday holidays. So we have option A that has 22 total meetings with 9 3-week breaks, or we have option B was 23 meetings with three-week breaks. One of them, and a meeting on Tuesday. I think it says November, but I think it's October 13. Does anybody have a preference?
It is October.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, is this in the package, one
Yep,
of the?
we had 3A, the calendar 3A that was in the Excel spreadsheet, and 3B that was on, was more like a Word document.
3B went in late today, that went in early afternoon.
Yeah, yeah.
And what was the difference was it's just one fewer meeting, right?
Well, I had,
Oh, no, one more meeting, it should be.
if I may continue, I did have an earlier 2026 calendar, and I was wondering how these proposals compared to that, but I hadn't had a chance to look at it, quite frankly. I did think the idea of having 2 meetings a month had some appeal, but after I looked at all of these, I couldn't really make up my mind.
I also could not make up my mind.
Does it make sense to have 9 3-week breaks? Is that right?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So we have 9 3-week breaks with one, but only 3 3-week breaks with the other, but it's still the same number of meetings? Did you put this together?
I didn't know.
You put this together.
I put the second one together. I didn't, Paula put the first one together.
Do you know what, like, the key difference is?
It's mainly the 3-week breaks. Let's see, we
I
got
don't see how you can have 9, though.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. It would be,
2,
The one that was in the Excel spreadsheet had,
3, 4,
oh, it only had 1 meeting in the month of May
5.
and 1 meeting in the month of October. And then,
I'm sorry, it looks like 6. That would be going 1,
Oh, let me look at the
2.
October. That's
3, 4, 5, 6.
I had one that had 6 3-week breaks. That was the earlier version that I referred to.
No, looking at 9. I'm still looking at 9.
all right, so which is that one?
Well, it's not, I don't, doesn't have a caption on it,
So I don't
but
know
it
which
was one that, it's the only one I have for 26.
And that's option A.
It's the one with the yellow bubbles.
Yeah, that's the first one.
So that one, the one that I'm having in front of me, had 6 3-week breaks. In terms of doing that, we don't, when we come back from a 3-week break, we never really get clobbered. It seems to be it's the same amount of work.
Yeah.
And maybe that works with the workload that we have, or maybe,
I think that works better than trying to maneuver all around the Monday holidays and do Tuesday meetings
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, that can be tricky for the other standing meetings.
So I think if I'm looking at the option B calendar PDF here, that it has the red circles around it. So I think the yellow is the one that we had before, the ones that are the yellow. And then the red, and then the option B here is where you've circled with the red circles is an alternative for B.
that's
I
the
think-
one in the package?
And B gets you one more meeting in October, I think is what it gets you.
Yeah, if you go with option A, the only change I would suggest is the December. Instead of the 28th, I'd go the 21st.
Yes.
All right, so let's do that. Let's do the yellow boxes except December 21st instead of 28th.
Yeah,
You
that
guys
makes
think?
more sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so option A, except move the December ones around. If we need to have more meetings or something, we can always schedule them. We don't need to vote on that, do we? Do we need to? We want to approve that?
motion to
Yeah.
approve?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so that's 4 in favor and 1 absent. So that's the yellow boxes plus, except moving the 28th. Phew. Okay. Next item we have is more fun. We have a Request from Dana Stewart, the Recreation Director, to approve the contract for the renovations of the Bicentennial Park Playground. And we have Andrea Dunbar with us today.
Good evening, thank you.
You want to hand out your,
Yes, I will.
I forgot to warn you that for Sue's thing, we have to read the whole thing. So I'm electing you to read the whole
What do I
thing.
have
Oh, you
to
don't
read?
have it in front of you?
I don't have it in front
Or
of me.
might not read it.
You can give it to me, I'll read.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sue, do you have it in writing, what we need to read?
I do.
I got it right here.
Thank you.
That's page 2.
Wait,
I always put my signature. It's long, you got to read the whole thing.
Page 1 and 2.
Not for this.
No.
All right,
That's just that one thing.
Okay, no problem.
all right, go ahead, thank you.
Yes, good evening. As Madam Chair said, my name is Andrea Dunbar. I am the Chair of the Westport Recreation Commission. I'm here on behalf of the department and the commission this evening to present to you the plan for the Bicentennial Park Playground. The hope is that we will renovate this space in 3 phases. The first phase, which I'm here to talk to you about tonight, is the playground. Eventually, we would like to also renovate Phase 2, which would include fixing up the grounds, including fencing, landscaping, pathways, walkways, et cetera. And as reflected, we do have $250,000 worth of CPA, Community Preservation Act funds in order to do that. Phase 3 is still to be determined. There has been community reach out regarding what to do in this phase, but essentially that's still a work in progress, but we do hope to either replace the skate park or put in a new sports area. But getting to why we're here tonight regarding the playground. Next slide, please. So this is a aerial rendering of what the playground will look like. You can see that it is modern, soft, spring-like colors, and it's all rubberized surfacing. So the rubberized surfacing, we do have that at the Annex Playground as well. It's kind of the gold standard in terms of playgrounds and making it ADA accessible, and frankly, just better in terms of upkeep and maintenance. The colors are green and tan, and we did this specifically to make it look like the various structures are on grass with tan pathways around them, and children can kind of use the pathways as kind of like a learning, also motor experience. Next slide, please. So this slide just gives you kind of dimensions and details what all of the equipment is. If you wanted to see a larger rendering of this, I have it. It's bigger. It's just kind of hard to see on here. But it just gives you an idea of all of the pieces of the playground, all of the equipment that will be included when the playground is put in. Next slide, please. So if you look, one of the things that we had hoped to accomplish with this playground is that we wanted to include structures that would draw older children onto the playground. And so you'll see that there's a large custom structure in the middle of the playground, and this is for 5 to 12-year-olds. So it's a 12-foot tower that the kids can climb and go down 2 different tube slides. So there's kind of the windy slide, and then on the other side, which you'll see in a different rendering, there's another like kind of straight down slide. It's connected by an 8-foot archway climber. There's a 5-foot middle portion with a connecting bridge and roller slide. There's a 6-foot end portion with double wave slide and musical panels. And then there's a 3-foot portion with connecting circle monkey bar climber. There's a treetop traverse bars to climb. And then there's an inclusive play area below the structure on ground level for handicapped children that may not be able to climb. Next slide, please. So this is a smaller custom play structure. This would be for the ages of 2 to 5-year-olds. You'll see that there's 2 4-foot platforms with a dragonfly connector. We really wanted to get creative with this and include the dragonfly. It just kind of makes it kind of whimsical and draws more children into the space. There's also a river rock climber, which you can see the child climbing up. There's a double slide and a swerve slide. And again, this includes an inclusive table play area, which you can see on the right over there. Next slide, please. In this slide, you'll see that we've also included a whirl spinner. So this whirl spinner is also at the Annex Playground. And again, it's ADA compliant, it's inclusive. You can put a wheelchair on the spinner and spin it around. And frankly, it's a draw at the Annex Playground. So I think it's a good piece of equipment to include in this playground as well. This is just a further picture of the tall tower. You can see the other slide that you couldn't see as well in the other rendering. The other thing that this shows is the monkey bars. And again, when we were in the initial planning phases of this playground, we had put out outreach to the community and to children at like the holiday fair that the school runs to ask, what equipment do you want to see? And monkey bars was a very popular request. So we were able to include that in this playground. Next slide, please. In this picture, if you look on the left, you'll see kind of a child standing on a little platform. This is called a solo spinner, and essentially you move your body around and it spins around. So we thought that was kind of a cool feature. My favorite feature of this playground is the sway bench. So if you look to the right, beyond the slides, it's a bench. And so parents can sit on the bench and it swings and you can swing with your children as well. So that's just a way to draw, I think, multiple generations into the playground. The next slide you'll see, again, this is a roller slide. We have this roller slide at the Annex Playground. It's sensory, and it's frankly really popular. The kids really love it, and so it just kind of gives it sort of a different feeling than a regular slide. So we included that as well. And then next, in this rendering, you can see the sort of sticks kind of sticking out of the ground. You can climb on those. And again, it's just another fun piece of equipment, something different than the Annex Playground. And we think it will be really fun and popular with the children. On the next slide, you'll see a large swing set. And so this will include a handicap accessible swing. There'll be 2 regular swings, 1 regular toddler swing, and there'll also be a parent-child swing where a parent and a child can swing together. I think it's just, obviously, we all grew up with swings. They're still very popular. It's a great piece of equipment. Again, it's multi-generational.
Get that neat climbing thing too going on there.
Yeah. It's a really great playground. And then in this slide, you'll just see we have the larger kind of swing slide, or excuse me, swing, kind of like a tire swing, but not quite a tire. And so that's, again, another popular piece of equipment. Just to point out, some of the ADA compliant inclusive features. There's the rubberized surfacing. We have the handicap accessible swing. We have the sway bench swing, the dual parent toddler swing, the roller slide, the transfer platforms, on larger structure and smaller structure. We've got the in-ground whirl spinner. There's an inclusive table play area. There's the inclusive counter panel play area. So we've really tried to draw in handicapped children, able-bodied children. We've tried very hard to make this very inclusive, to capture all members of our community. So getting to the budget, currently the Westport Recreation Department and the Westport Recreation Commission, we have CPA funds of $534,126.64 for the bicentennial playground. The contract, and that includes the equipment, freight, and installation, as well as the rubberized surfacing, with MRC Game Time is $499,862.91. The demo and removal of the old playground we are forecasting would cost us $0, as the Highway Department has indicated that they could undertake this work, and it would not be a cost for us to have that completed. Just to give you some information, we're not looking to have this portion approved at this point, but we have obtained quotes for preparation of the land for the new playground, as well as the concrete curbing. We would put concrete curbing around the rubberized surfacing in order to make it flush, and so that provides less opportunities for it to rip up or crumble or whatever. So, and we did that at the annex playground, and it looks aesthetically pleasing as well. So we forecast that the entire cost will be between about $529,500 and about $537,000. At this time, we are just asking that the Select Board give permission for the town administrator and/or for the Recreation Director, Dana Stewart, to sign off on the MRC Game Time Playground Plan for the contract totaling $499,862.91. And we've included at the back of your packet the contract with MRC Game Time. And I invite any questions you might have.
Thank you. You guys did a great job. I'm excited about this playground.
I'm really excited about it as well. So is my daughter.
I'm more excited after you've seen the other one go in and how popular it is.
I know, it's fantastic. It's so good to see families there. And, you know, I feel like every day in the summer that I drove by, it was just like so many cars. It's really great to see.
Anybody have any questions?
Go ahead, Dick. You can go first.
Dick, go ahead.
Oh, I was just wondering about the $534,000. Was that approved in prior town meetings?
Yes, so we submitted applications to the CPC Commission, and then those funds were approved at town meeting, both in 2024 and 2025.
Yeah. They sounded familiar, I just wanted to verify that.
Yes.
The money's there for this endeavor.
Correct, the money is there, yes.
Dick?
Thank you for the presentation. Not an easy undertaking by the Recreation Commission to do that, so I appreciate you spending the time and effort on that. When I think we had a discussion here with with the CPA funds, I made a comment, and I will still make that comment, that in the future, that if we're going to spend these resources, and I just want this on record, this has nothing to do with you, that hopefully this area is not used as a staging area for any further water/sewer in Westport. When you spend $500,000, I hope that that is not used in the future. So I just want that at least on the record with respect to that. And I want to thank you for finding creative ways to save money, like using the Highway Department. And Highway Department's great. They're always willing to offer their services when needed to save the town money and resources. And then also at least reaching out to Westport companies. I think that's key. If we can get Westport companies the help and they can provide the service for us, I think that's great. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Great. I would just echo that we also hope that it will be, preserved and remain pristine for generations to come. And obviously, we are welcome to work with Westport companies and do all we can to support small businesses in the town.
Anything else?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Do we have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so it's 4 in favor and 1 absent.
Thank you very
Wow,
much.
Good
Thank you.
work. Thank you. Next one we have, because apparently Bill Chase is trying to get on our agenda every single meeting. That's good. He's busy over there. We have a request from Bill Chase, Director of Marine Services, to approve a proposal for GZA Town Dock feasibility study. Do you want to explain this one, Jim?
Yeah, the Harbor Advisory through the Harbor Master received a grant for $94,000 from the Seaport Economic Development Council. They're going to use those funds for a study of the town docks and a kind of a plan going forward as to what to do with them. So this will include review of project management. They'll do a topographic survey of the existing site. They will do above water and underwater inspections of the existing dock system down there in pilings. They'll do geotechnical explorations on the docks. And these are not just wooden docks, there's concrete docks, there's filled land down there. They will check the data that's available as far as climate change and changes to the water levels, and then they're going to evaluate the facility and come up with an improvement feasibility report going forward. And hopefully this is something that once the report is done, we could apply for additional Seaport economic funds to actually do the work, the repairs to the docks, which are in need of improvements. So I'd recommend approval.
Thank you.
Just have a
Go
quick
ahead.
question, Chair. On that study, will they be looking at, because I know there's been ongoing battles between commercial fishing vessels and recreational ones at a dock down there, since technically it should be in many opinion, a commercial fishing dock and space and all that. Will that be, and that may not be something you can answer, maybe Bill can answer it, but will there be an analysis on who's, positioning and docks down there?
I know Bill, the harbor master, is looking at those issues right now. This study would be specific to the infrastructure.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
This is really a question for Jim, Madam Chair. Regarding the parking down at the point, does this, I wouldn't say interfere with that endeavor or that study or that conversation, I guess?
It shouldn't. I think it's mainly the condition of the facilities that are down there now and how to improve them.
The docks themselves?
The docks
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah, okay.
All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's 4 in favor and 1 absent. We have a request from Sue Brighton, the treasurer collector, to approve the borrowing for the community septic loan program. Welcome, Sue.
Good evening.
Can I explain what this is about?
This is another Clean Water Trust loan for $500,000 to provide septic betterment loans to people who need to repair septic systems and cannot necessarily afford to do so. They do have to repay the money. It is billed on their, the repayment is billed through the real estate taxes on their tax bills over, they select the time frame, either 5, 10, or 20 years.
And is this something we renew every year, or is it we run out of money and we have to do it?
We have right now, I think it will be $2.5 million out in these loans. Some of it has been paid down over the years. But yes, the Board of Health reviews the need for them and so forth, will issue the funds to the people, and then it goes from there. The repayment schedule is managed through the assessors, collector, treasurer, and accountants for the next 20 years.
Thank you. Any questions? All right, so this one has a very specific motion that we have to make, so
Yes, the
Jake
vote,
has been voluntold that he's going to read this.
I was unaware of this homework
He's gonna-
assignment prior.
He's going to read, he will move the following.
bond counsel is very specific.
So I'm reading the entirety of this?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
No problem. I, the clerk of the Select Board of the Town of Westport, Massachusetts, certify that at the meeting of the board held November 17th, today, 2025, of which meeting all members of the board were duly notified and at which a quorum was present, the following vote was passed, all of which appears upon the official record of the board in my custody. And we'll go through this. Voted, 1, that the town shall issue a board or bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $500,000, the bonds, pursuant to Chapter 29C of 111 of the general laws, and a vote of the town passed May 6th, 2025, Article 17, which authorized a total borrowing of $500,000 for a community septic management loan program, named the project. 2, that the terms of the financing agreement or agreements between the town and the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust, the financing agreement, and the project regulatory agreement or agreements between the town and the Department of Environmental Protection of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, DEP, the project regulatory agreement, each relating to the notes and the bonds are hereby approved. 3, that in anticipation of the issuance of the bonds, the treasurer is authorized to issue an interim loan note or notes, the notes, from time to time in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $500,000. 4, that each bond or note shall be issued as a single registered security and sold to the trust at a price determined pursuant to the financing agreement. 5, that the treasurer is authorized to determine the date, the form, the maximum interest rate, and the principal maturities of each bond and note, and to execute a financing agreement with the trust with respect to the sale of the bonds and notes, such date, form, and maturities, and the specific interest rate or rates of the bonds and notes to be approved by a majority of the select board and the treasurer and evidenced by their execution of the bonds or notes. 6, that any certificates or documents relating to each bond and note, collectively the documents, may be executed in several counterparts, each of which be regarded as an original, and all of which shall constitute one and the same document. Delivery of an executed counterpart of the signature to a document by electronic mail, in a PDF file, or by other electronic transmission shall be as effective as delivery of a manually executed counterpart signature page to such document. And electronic signatures on any of the documents shall be deemed original signatures for the purposes of the documents and all matters relating thereto, having the same legal effect as original signatures. 7, that all action taken to date by the town and its officers and agents to carry out the project and its financing, including the execution of any loan commitment or agreement by the treasurer, are hereby ratified, approved, and confirmed. And 8, that the treasurer and the other appropriate town officials are each hereby authorized to take any and all actions necessary or convenient to carry out the provisions of this vote, including execution and delivery of the financing agreement and the project regulatory agreement relating to the project. I further certify that the votes were taken at a meeting open to the public, that no vote was taken by secret ballot, that a notice stating the place, date, time, and agenda for the meeting, which agenda included the adoption of the above votes, was filed with the town clerk and a copy thereof posted in a manner conspicuously visible to the public at all hours in or on the municipal building that the office of the town clerk is located, or, if applicable, in accordance with an alternative method of notice prescribed or approved by the Attorney General as set forth in 940 CMR 29.032B. At least 48 hours, not including Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays, prior to the time of the meeting, and remain so posted at the time of the meeting that no deliberations or decision in connection with the sale of the bonds or notes were taken in executive session, and that the official record of the meeting was made available to the public promptly and remains available to the public, all in accordance with General Law C.30A 18-25, as amended. I further certify that the vote has not been amended, supplemented, or revoked and remains in effect on this date.
So that was the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? No. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye is 4 in favor and 1 absent. Thank you,
not gonna
Mr.
oppose that
McQuiggin.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
what we're signing here is related to that.
Yes, there are two other documents, an interim loan note and,
Well, yeah, this,
and the certificate that need to be signed at this time.
Is
yeah.
that what we
Yes.
just read, cover all that?
Yes.
All of those, okay.
Yes.
And then to the signing by the majority of the board, there's three items. The first is, the first one, which you have a note on, then there's two more, there are two more copies.
There should be two copies of pretty much everything there, and they want wet signatures or actual signatures on all the copies.
Yeah, so there's a total of three that are signed by the select board and two signed by the clerk, I think. And there's
Okay,
The first
that-
one and then the two at the back.
Yes.
Okay, so that's, I was wondering,
Sue, am I signing this, or is it part of that packet?
It's part of that
Okay.
packet
yeah.
there.
All right, thank you.
Well, I'll get the thing started as far as the,
Anything else for Sue?
do you wish not to sign it?
No, have Jake take it next, and then I'll sign it. We'll sign the one with the board.
Well, there are three that require a majority of the board, right?
Correct.
So we can sign those. The first one and the two at the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
The two at the back, I believe, are the two for
Yeah,
Jake.
you've got little notes here, okay.
Yep,
We do not want to mess that up and have to read it again.
right, I know.
That's why I'm being,
Bond counsel's very particular, print on, single-sided, this, I get my full instructions from them.
All right, do we want to move on, or we want to wait and sign stuff?
let me just get rid of this here.
All right, so the next item that we had,
First and the last two.
the next, are you ready? Do you want to
I
wait?
don't want to mess this up.
Just a quick comment on that.
Go ahead.
This is a great program for the people that are looking to upgrade their septic systems, but it's a lot of work for the different departments, especially the accounting and treasurer's office. You got borrowers that pay early, you got borrowers that pay late, you got borrowers that don't pay at all. And we're not really in the banking business, so this is added features that they have to do to track these things. And every year, we're getting more and more of these funds to do it, and more loans going out, so it's getting to be quite a project. So thank you.
Thank you, I think. Thanks.
Should give to Jake, that's from last meeting.
Mrs. Jake. Okay, so you got these three that require majority. The next two, I think, are the clerk, then the last two are us again.
James, do I have to sign the following page, or just that one page, just the front?
I think that's the poll petition.
Okay,
Note that you, the board may have to sign the full signature.
all right, do you mind if we,
Just signature, that's for.
your signature as well? Okay. So the next item that we had is a discussion of a request to approve the employment contract for Chris Vitale. Vitale, Chris Vitale to the position of town administrator. Who are, Dick and Jake?
Yes.
Do one of you guys want to tell us, kind of give us the highlights of the contract?
If you want to go?
Wish, go ahead, I'll do it.
No, go ahead.
Okay, well, we went through the contract, Jake and I, with Bernie Lynch, executive recruiter. And there were different drafts. There was a draft presented by Mr. Vitale, which interestingly, we felt comfortable with most of his recommendations. And a lot of the contract for Mr. Vitale mirrored the contract for Mr. Hartnett. There are a couple of things that we couldn't agree to, but they were minor. And what you have in front of you in the package is really the agreement that we reached after negotiation, after discussion. I don't know how much you want to go into that in terms of detail in the open session, Madam Chair.
I mean, I've read it all. I think if we're comfortable with it, then I don't think we need to go to executive, but if we want to have a detailed, in-depth discussion, then we can do that too, so it's a matter with the board.
No, I mean, I had a chance to, during that, I was at Veterans Day, talked it over with Dick, then read it, and so felt comfortable with it as it was worded, understood where some of the differences were, and some of the things that he wanted to insert for.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with the agreement that we had. Is there anything you wanted to say, to add?
So we obviously had a similar, agreement that was already in place with Jim that we worked off as the boilerplate, as Dick pointed out. And obviously, it was a negotiation with Chris Vitale, asking for things, and we had meetings and went back and forth on that. But it was a pretty smooth negotiation. I think everything's pretty self-explanatory and straightforward, so there were really no stumbling blocks. It was probably we had one or two meetings and had kind of an agreement after that in principle. So I don't see any real issues. I think the only issue for the general public and even for Jim is that I think we were trying to get an earlier start date of that contract. We were trying to get maybe a December 1, so Jim could enjoy Christmas. The problem with that is Mr. Vitale has a contract with the town of Dartmouth, which obviously did not have, it had basically a 60-day notice on that, so we were not able to kind of get Chris in here any earlier than that we were looking for. So I believe the contract is dated, I think, December 29th. Jim, if I'm
That's correct, yep.
So that would be the start date for Chris Vitale here in Westport.
All right, so you're recommending approval?
Recommend approval.
I would second that, Madam Chair.
All right, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So that's 4 in favor and 1 absent. So we will not need an executive session tonight. I did talk to Jim about, the contract we have with Jim is over at the end of December. And in the event that we might want to have him available for Chris for, into January, we might need to have a contract extension to put him on like an hourly retainer or something like that, so.
Makes sense.
Maybe we'll think about that in the next couple weeks about whether that way Jim can be paid if he gets called for advice, but not committed. Okay, I think we're ready for Jeff Bull from the Landing Commission. There's a request for a design preference for the Hicks Bridge Landing, paved or gravel parking area.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Jeff Bull. I'm currently Chair of the Landing Commission. We are pursuing completion of this design and design approval for the Select Board, and it's your final decision because it's primarily your landing. We're just assisting you with that. There are multiple levels of approval by the state government and at some point the federal government and then also the Conservation Commission. At the first level, the state regulator was concerned both about the width of the boat ramp, that it was going from 12 feet to 24 feet, which means that we would be covering a certain amount of beach and beach grasses. And they sort of felt like, well, gee, you've got 12 feet now, isn't that enough? And we were like, well, no, the standard is 24 feet. So what you're looking at here is 24 feet. In negotiation and in thinking about this ourselves and talking to people who use the boat ramp very regularly, our sense was that we were willing to back down to 18 feet rather than 24 feet. Looking at the drawing, you can see that I've penned in a red line down the middle of the boat ramp. That's the current 12 feet. So, so again, we'd be going to 18 feet, and the people on the landing commission that use the boat ramp regularly with large boats felt like 18 feet was adequate. So we were happy to vote in approval of that. The other primary concern that the regulatory agency had was paving. Our GZA, our engineer, went back and forth with them quite a bit about this. People in general should know that a gravel or dirt park won't really be gravel, it'll be a dirt parking lot, and what it is now, if we don't pave, is really 95% impermeable. Water really doesn't go into that far into a dirt parking lot. It fills up pretty quickly and then runs off, which is what we've been doing for decades, and running off large amounts of sand and dirt into the river. We've actually created sandbars on the south side of the boat ramp, which makes all of this construction more difficult, which is why we went for paving. So the Landing Commission chose not to vote. Well, we did vote to approve an 18-foot boat ramp, but which again is your final decision. We weren't comfortable voting about dirt or paving. We really felt that that was a decision that you folks will need to make at some point. You don't necessarily have to make it tonight. The paving is much easier to maintain long-term, and probably long-term, maybe through 20 or 30 years, is about the same cost because you don't have to regrade it. It's also easier to write parking tickets for larger amounts of money on a paved parking lot because people need to park between the stripes. And beyond that, cost-wise, there would be less dust in the dry months and environmentally dramatically less runoff of sediment and then also chemicals into the river. I mean, vehicles leak oil and gasoline, as do boats coming out of the water sometimes, and typically if it's a dirt parking lot, a lot of that will wash into the river, as has been going on for years. And the Watershed Association was strongly in favor of paving, even though some people in the public sort of like the way it looks currently. The other advantage of paving is we have more options for grant applications because we'll be doing a lot more environmentally. You can see in the center of the drawing, there's a stormwater infiltration system. It's the gridded thing that runs across the parking lot. That would be gone. You can't do that in a dirt parking lot. You can't contain the water and move it to a rain garden, which is the intention of this plan. The other advantage of paving is that there are more parking places. The utilization is better because people are kind of expected to park between the lines, and remarkably, people do park between the lines when you give them lines. And if they don't, then you can also write them a ticket, even if they have a permit. So then sometimes people learn to park between the lines. The disadvantage is that the project will be about $500,000 cheaper without paving. But so currently we are moving ahead with the design and grant applications and are kind of moving along with paving as an option. So again, I don't know exactly how many parking places we would lose. That would depend really on how people park from day to day. We've seen much greater utilization down at the Westport Point now that it's striped. So that's where we are. So you need to be thinking about being comfortable with an 18-foot ramp and just some opinion about paving. I will also mention to the public in general that the recent article in the Shorelines about this being a multi-million-dollar project was inaccurate. That's not true. It will be fewer millions, but still.
Not as multi as as the shoreline said.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any original, pricing. I mean, it'll be, with paving, it'll probably be 1.3, but we really don't know until we get a final plan and then start going out to bid. And also, it's already $200,000 more expensive than it was when we expected to do this during COVID time. And there's less grant money, so who knows?
So can you just remind us like where we are in the process here? Like this is a design plan, right? So what's the, we have somebody doing this design for us?
Yep.
What's the next step after that?
Permitting. And that's that's why I'm here today, is the first permitting person pushed back pretty hard about paving and about the width of the boat ramp. So we are, we'll go through yet another state regulatory commission will go before the Army Corps about how much are we blocking the bridge, with the floats. And then finally to the Conservation Commission. And at the same time, we are starting to apply for grants. We've let out an application for a couple $100,000 this week, excuse me. But we don't really have a final enough plan to go back to the Mass Seaport Council for the larger amount of money for this.
All right, so then, so you're just looking, so as you're going out to start the permitting process, you're wanting to understand our preferences for the design? Whether paving but you also said that you could say paving optional, but like at what point do you need a decision?
I don't know.
When we get the bid, right?
I don't know. That'll partially be an issue with how much grant money we get.
Yeah.
But we're also able to apply for additional grants if we're doing additional good environmental work.
I see. All right. Jim, did you have something?
I was just going to say, as you work your way through the permitting process, the state or the Army Corps or the local Conservation Commission is going to have requirements, and hopefully, they will weigh in on whether it should be paved or gravel, but I think if we push one way or another, that will go a long way.
So I personally like the paving, but I also not I don't know that much about the conservation aspect of it, but the parking, I think, makes a lot more sense, and I think the maintenance makes a lot more sense.
I think we talked last summer, we were having issues with parking. And so by having paved and having the lines, it might make it easier to regulate.
You also got some pretty heavy vehicles, heavy boats. It's not we're limited as to the design. We only have the one entrance, one exit. So you're going to have a lot of turning movements in that parking lot. So with those heavy vehicles, if you have gravel in there, it's going to get beat up pretty quick.
Off-season also, it will get used less for people doing donuts at night. You can see it's extraordinarily torn up right now because someone's been out there having fun.
I don't know, they might have that on pavement.
Madam Chair, just a quick question. So Jeff, can you explain to me how or why the Landing Commission did not take a vote, or what were the issues on them not taking a vote between the asphalt and the gravel parking lot? Because I would figure that would fall kind of in your purview with the plan that you're putting forth.
There's a pretty strong feeling on the Landing Commission, the Select Board, and whatever administrative help you have need to really start taking ownership of this project. And so they asked me to come here.
Okay.
I asked them to take a vote. They said, we're not really comfortable.
Okay.
There's
And
a real push.
were there reasons other than let's let the Select Board make the decision, or was it? Did they have issues with someone in asphalt, someone in gravel, or is it just let the Select Board make that decision?
Didn't poll the group.
Okay.
It's potentially an easier, I mean, if we have to go for some matching funds, which is a possibility, we've already secured some matching funds. it's certainly an easier sell at town meeting. On the other hand, because oftentimes Westport will do something which in the long term is more expensive, even though we face that all the time in this town. So it's an easier sell, but there was also some concern about the environmental aspects, and because people have stood there, some people on the landing commission use that landing regularly, and you stand there in a heavy rain, and you watch the dirt just wash into the river. It's like, it's pretty remarkable. And the feeling was that if we go back with more documentation to some of the environmental regulators and show them really what has happened so that they really understand the reality. I mean, this is not like a landing on flat land. This is a hole in the ground. And there's a significant runoff from 3 sides of the landing. So it would be different if this was just on a flat plain someplace. So that, the sense was we could go back. And the consulting engineer felt, even though he pushed fairly hard for it, he didn't want to burn his bridges with the first level of regulation.
Just one more question. So you're saying that the total may be like 1.3 million, and are we saying that basically 500,000 of that would be from paving that asphalt parking lot?
Yeah, it's not just the asphalt.
Well, it's a stormwater.
It's that,
yeah.
that gridded thing, that's 250 grand
Yep.
just for that.
Okay.
So it may be 1.5. I really have no idea. That is not my expertise. We have not started any kind of, the GZA will be able to give us a better number.
But the idea here, so, I mean, to your point, just to kind of emphasize on that, so the idea isn't just that it's paving, it's also allows this subsurface infiltration system to direct to a rain garden is what.
Right. The section north of that would be, either way, it will be dug out and turned into a treatment area, and then all the existing ducts and stuff will be fixed. It just won't be nearly as functional without redirecting the water, because gravity wins.
I think my concern right now is that obviously we're so early on in the process here of deciding, kind of finished goods of the landing. As you mentioned, Conservation Commission and talking to, you'll have to talk to obviously Chris and go through the permitting process with Conservation and whether this even complies with, stormwater management for the site. We don't know just by looking at this or by, kind of the asphalt. So I'm not entirely sure a decision needs to be made on this tonight. There's a lot of permitting, there's a lot to go forward with this. But that's just my thought.
I mean, I think if you're gonna go out for bid, you'd want it you'd want
Yeah,
both options.
both
You'd
options.
want the option with the paving and you'd want the option without, and then you decide if you can get the money
Yep.
for one or the other. So I think you should kind of pursue both and see where the funding takes you.
I would agree with that.
All right, so do we need a vote on anything?
Well, I think similar to what Mr. Hartnett said, if you have an opinion one way or the other, if you would prefer, assuming we can get the money, the more environmentally conscious way of doing this, it would probably weigh some with our, with the regulatory bodies at the state, but they realize like it's not just 4 people at the landing commission, it was actually the governing body of the town. Preferred it with the stormwater, the more rigorous stormwater treatment.
Paving, that is.
Yeah, it doesn't mean we're going to end up doing it, it's just an opinion.
So, so you are asking us to take a vote, because I'm just trying to understand what you
Oh,
want.
yeah,
from
but
us.
this,
Right, okay,
but
so-
this is not what I'm saying is this is not a final vote. This is going to go through
Right, you're trying to
multiple
go forward with
changes.
plans, right?
This
So
will
you're
go
trying to
through multiple changes. This will just,
Can I
ahead.
play with the motion?
You may.
I move that we direct the landing commission to develop an RFP that would present 2 potential options and pricing to appropriate vendors for pricing for those options.
Could I amend that as well?
What is your proposal?
Just pursuant to, permitting from local conservation on that.
Right.
Because I think the concern I see with just this is the stormwater.
Also, subject to
Yeah.
regulatory approval. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
The understanding is we need to, what I understand you saying to us, Jeff, is that you're saying it's probably good to come in with your preference. But if the pricing gets scary or you're getting mixed messages from different regulatory bodies, then we have to evaluate that kind of input going forward. And one board could say, well, no, we prefer not to disturb the whatever. Another board would say, no, by having, this, we would protect the what. I mean, but I could almost sometimes see that you get 3 different regulatory bodies, right? Maybe 4?
Yeah, at least 3.
Yeah, and I would expect, more than, at least 4, and I would expect also that the design details are going to change dramatically, so that an RFP at this point would be that's going to cost some money to do, and I'm not sure how valuable it's going to be as far as, I think more what we're looking for is a preference, so that we can go to the people. So you can ask for that, and we can spend a few $1,000s pulling that together, maybe. I don't know how much these things cost.
Maybe if there was a preference for paving, but keep the gravel option open as we move further along with the design, we can evaluate both and present that to the board.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when we get closer, then that's the point at which, and we'll also, we're going to be hearing about some grant money pretty soon, too. So,
Well, that's what I'm thinking, is that you're going to need, if you think it's going to be helpful for us to be weighing in on some level for grant writing purposes, it's in all of our interest to try to maximize outside resources, as opposed to having to finance this ourselves.
So then where does that leave us with the motion? I'm confused, because your motion was the RFP, but I think
I think we're just, yeah,
maybe proceed with the permitting process with a preference for the paving with the option for,
yes.
yeah. You got something like that? You'll figure that out for us? Yes, okay.
Okay.
so do I
Okay.
understand that you're still asking for RFPs?
No,
Thank you.
we're proceeding with the design, proceeding with the permitting bodies.
Thank you.
Yes, there we go. So we're proceeding with the permitting bodies, with preference for paving with the option for not paving. And we'll see how the regulatory agencies weigh in. Okay.
And that'll give you the tools you need to write grants.
That will help.
Okay.
All right, so we have a motion from Craig. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Madam Chair, just before we take a vote, I'm probably going to vote in opposition for this because I'm not educated enough on this as to where the public feels and where the voting public feels with respect to the asphalt or the gravel or even for the environmental impacts that'll come before with conservation. So I'm just, on the record, I'm going to just oppose it today because I'm not entirely sure of the direction this early in the process, why technically a decision needs to be made on this. Thank you.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And
Opposed.
opposed? So we have 3 in favor, 1 opposed, and 1 absence. Thank you. Anything else going on you want to talk about?
Just personally, since we perhaps have a larger audience here than watches Landing Commission meetings, although I'm always surprised that people approach me at Lee's or wherever, saying, oh, I've seen you on TV, and I'm like, really? My term's up this spring, so anyone that's interested in being on the Landing Commission and taking on some things,
This project?
well, this project should become your project, and you should be thinking seriously about, engaging the Marine Services Director. Certainly, the Planning Board's taking a pretty strong role in this. I'm willing to help out some with it, even after I don't re-up, but I know for the last 4 years, I've had to beg people to be on the landing commission. I've had to collect signatures for them. So, we want enough people there so we actually have a quorum, so we can actually do business like leases and things. So,
Well, I know at one point, we talked about possibly dissolving the landing commission.
we did.
We're one of the very few communities, like, there's only like 2 communities in Massachusetts that have one, right?
Something like that, yep. But that's a much more complicated process.
Yes, it is. All right.
So
Thank you.
anyone who uses the landing ought to think about maybe helping out.
Volunteering, signing up.
Yep.
I don't think it would be a heated election. You never know.
Typically not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The town administrator report.
Yeah, just another quick update on the HVAC. We have heat in the basement, we have heat on the first floor. Second floor is supposed to get heat this week, so they are on schedule. And when I say we have heat, they are hooked up and working, but they are not controlled yet with our thermostats, so the contractor is controlling the heat. So, we're still looking at probably 4 to 8 weeks before the project is complete. If you happen to walk down in the basement, you can see how involved this process was, much more than I anticipated when we originally started. Free cash certification, free cash was certified as of July 1st, 2025. The general fund at $3,641,362. The Harbor Enterprise Fund at $148,823. The Waterline Enterprise Fund at $124,697. That was actually, you'll see that's reduced from the previous year quite a bit because we used a portion of that, $150,000 roughly, which would go towards the mediation of the old water billing with Fall River. And the Enterprise Fund for the beach is $281,026. If I did put a memo in there with the report that kind of describes where the free cash comes from. We had department turnbacks of about $2 million, local receipts of 1.5, additional state aid over what was estimated was 184,000, and last year we carried over some free cash, 383,000. That brought us up to about 4.2 million, and then you deduct some of the other receivables, overdrawn accounts, deficits. If we have grants that we've not received reimbursements for, those get charged against the free cash, which brings you around to the 3.6. It's not an exact match because there's some other factors in there, but that gets you pretty close to where we are with free cash. With the packet is also the local receipts from 2025 with the turnback numbers that you can look at when you get a chance. The Macumber Water Loop project, the streets were paved last week or the week before. The side streets, Route 6, the patching has been completed. Striping was done, I don't know if it was done over the weekend, I thought it was supposed to be done this week, but it's
Looked
been
striped
done
when I
on
drove up
Gifford
there.
Road, so I think things have improved quite a bit up there. I know it's been a long haul for the residents in that area, and we appreciate their patience, but we're getting close. We have, I think, 5 or 6 services connections that have to be done along Route 6, and we have a blow-off, pressure-reducing valve in Route 6 that we just need training on, and that's the majority of it, some minor striping in Route 6, but mainly punch list items in that project now, so that is one project that we're happy to be done with.
Anything for Jim? All right, thank you. The next item we have is the minutes from November 3rd.
Motion to approve November 3rd minutes?
Second?
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's 4 in favor, 1 absent. The report on the bill warrant.
Yes, that was included in the package, and $3 million, I believe it was. There were no issues, and it was, everything was in order, and that's what the report reflected, Madam Chair.
Great, thank you. So we have committee reports or suggestion for future agenda items. Craig, you want to start?
The Affordable Housing Trust is meeting this week, as it is the opioid settlement advisory committee. So one's meeting on Tuesday and the other one's meeting on Wednesday.
Okay, thank you. Dick?
So I'll have something to report at the next meeting.
Okay.
So Jake and I had something that wasn't technically, I guess, a committee meeting, although I'm on the ADA Transition Committee, but we were invited to honor the Highway Department at the behest of the Disability Commission, and we had a little breakfast over at the highway this morning, attended by myself and Jake, representing the select board. So that, I thought I'd mention that, they do great work, and the people on the Disability Commission, we're honoring them for many years of service in terms of helping with projects that were helpful to disabled people in terms of using town property for various and sundry reasons. So that was a nice event. Capital Improvements Planning Committee is going strong. We have an important meeting this week on Wednesday, as we have all the projects listed. There's a couple of more that were added, as Jim points out to us, but we're starting to rank them, and that process might take a little long. And we will be done by 4 o'clock for your meeting. And I do continue to attend both the Landing Commission meetings and as liaison and the Council on Aging. Council on Aging, interestingly, is having the first time its meeting. It's I call it Board of Directors, so it's really the Council on Aging here, the first time, and to have the meetings recorded. They weren't doing that before. And the room we were using over at the Council on Aging was quite noisy, people coming and going. So it was decided by the council to move here, and I think that would be a positive thing, and then it'll be taped, and it would be more of an opportunity for the public to see what's going on. And the good thing is the Council on Aging is doing, so I wanted to put that out there as a public service announcement. And that's it, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I was gonna, we're supposed to have a Climate Resilience Committee meeting on Thursday, but I don't see it posted on.
You're right, it was Thursday. It's supposed to
It
be
was supposed to be on the 20th
at 5 o'clock.
at 5 o'clock, but I don't see the posting, so I think we're having Climate Resilience Day
On Thursday evening.
Thursday evening. I think
I think that's following up on the plan that they were
it's
gonna
following
put
up on,
forward.
it's, I
At
think it's gonna be like, just amazingly fascinating meeting where we're gonna talk about how to weight.
Oh, that's right, the
things.
weighted average.
The weighted averages and what kind of weighted averages use and things like that, so should be engrossing. Is it what?
At the annex.
At the end, it'll be at the annex if it gets posted. So I don't have anything else.
No updates other than Dick covered this morning's breakfast with Highway Department well, so it was a good event. Thank you.
Okay. We don't have anyone in the public. Anybody have anything, any other comments? We have a number of vacancies. Jeff mentioned an potentially elected seat open in April, but we have all kinds of commissions and
Well, not-
committees for people who are interested. Come contact one of us and we'll put you in touch with people.
Not to belabor that, but Jeff was talking about that. I mean, we've got vacancies all the time, so
Yeah.
getting the public to get involved and volunteer is.
Even if it doesn't look like there's a vacancy, there might be people who are like praying that someone will come and
Take a
volunteer to
spot.
take their spots. So don't be shy. All right, I think we're done then. So motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's 4 in favor, 1 absent.